Hi there, and welcome to our very first episode from Beyond Tech. My name is Patrícia, I'm a digital analyst, and I'm going to be your new host for the second season of Beyond Tech. Throughout this season, we are going to explore the fascinating world of data next to 6 different experts on this field, and with them we are going to uncover how this science is so essential for driving business success. On today's episode, and to kickstart this season, I'm thrilled to be joined today by one of our tech leads on this data field, David.
Thank you.
To explore his journey on this field, since tackling operational tasks until managing data initiatives on a more recent basis, and discuss the boundless potential that data insights can have in shaping the future of a business. So first, thank you, David, for accepting the challenge and being here today. And let me start by asking you a very simple question. That is, what did first make you choose data as a field to start your career?
Yeah, so I really always liked mathematics, and it's a bit, I don't know, like since I was 12, always liked the numbers and so on. Went to mathematics bachelor's, and that's where I kind of understood, okay, it's not only numbers, it's a lot of like Greek letters in the process, but through it I learned a lot more about statistics, numerics, and eventually when I started my first job, I was actually in an analytics team doing prediction analysis and a lot of prediction work as well with clients, and that's where I started to get like a lot more of the feeling into data, working with data teams, working with data models and data warehouses, and that's where I kept on like developing myself more into the part of reporting, analysis, consulting stakeholders on how to be more data driven as well. So there's a lot more into it, but that's the gist of it.
Mainly,
Yes.
okay. So actually talking about that and the fact that your background involves several types of data sources and working with different types of data, I actually prepared a small quiz for you.
Okay.
And this is new for everyone that is watching this format. So for this new season, we decided to introduce a kind of icebreaker before we move forward. And you are actually going to be the lab mouse on this format. Yeah. And it's pretty simple. I called it Think Fast, Answer Faster, so a very creative name, as you can imagine. And I'm going to ask you to simply answer my questions. It will be some funny questions about your role in data and about what you do on a daily basis. And yeah, you just need to go through it. So I'm going to actually start with a very simple one. That it's, I want to know your favorite programming language, if it's Python or SQL.
Just between the both. I mean, I learned several different languages, but I would say that in general, I am more used to work with SQL. I like Python and the possibilities that you can actually do with it. So on more of a hobby kind of thing, I do a lot of Python to test out new things, do new programming, search things online and all that. On a more work basis, because also from the past, I worked a lot with Python and SQL, and I'm way more used to work with SQL on a daily basis.
Okay, I understand you on that one. So now my second question. Imagine you just started a new data project. What's your signature move to kickstart a project?
Usually I would say it's to try and understand as fast as possible with the customer what exactly do they want. So I need to have the business knowledge to also understand like what I can deliver to that customer, to the stakeholder in the end. So have that feeling, understand what data sources we need to work with, what we need to bring in, and then again also either do some kind of mock-up or some kind of pilot to check with them that is this what we pretend to deliver in the end, or do we need to go in a different direction. So understanding always the business and what is the needs of the customer is the best way to make sure that you are going in the right direction and don't have to like backtrack.
All good. Looks good to me. Now, my next question. How would you describe what you do to your grandmother? This is an hard one.
In general, I would say, because this is what I've been doing like across my life, is I work with data of the company or data of customers that are working with the company in the end, and try to understand what do they do and how we can exactly provide better services to those customers in the end. So have a better understanding of our clients and then exactly check on how we can, through data, through what they do with the company, how we can exactly provide a better service or better products for them.
Okay, you actually were very descriptive. I was just expecting I do something with computers or the internet. It's actually what I do with my grandma, because she still thinks that internet is something magical.
But yes, I mean, it depends. If it was talking like with my grandfather, probably would be a bit more like that, but with my grandmother, probably I would simplify it even a bit further.
Yeah, it's internet, it's something. Yes. Something in the air. All good. Next question. If data analytics was a superhero, what would be its superpower?
Probably the ability to see the future, I would say. And that's at least what I would like to see it as a superpower, because through analysis and so on, and through like checking exactly what has been happening in the past, we would be able to usually predict a lot that can happen in the future as well. And that's what I would see as a kind of superpower, to be able to have exactly that predictive.
And achieve the correct statistics.
Exactly.
Now, what's the funniest or strangest question you've been asked about your job? It's a tough one.
Yes. Personally, I don't think I have had one that was like weird. Trying to think about it, but I don't think I had one that was about my job again.
In specific. Okay, I can share one from mine. Actually, so our job, if we translate it to Portuguese, it's analyst, and in Portugal, an analyst can be like a blood test analyst. And actually, when I tried to tell what I do to some of my older uncles, they were like, "Oh, but like blood test? You take blood from people?" Like, no, I work with computers. But yeah, it's good.
At least that one I personally never heard of, but I was like trying to think if there was anything related to like different jobs or anything like that. But no, I've had situations that it was confused, like usually, for example, when I had interviews in the past regarding data science, data science can literally be anything. At least a few years ago could literally be anything.
Yeah, all good. Now, my next question, it's actually a theory that you are going to see throughout all of the episodes. And actually, when I accepted this challenge, I told them, "Hey guys, I have a theory that I would like to have answered with this new format dedicated to data." And my theory is the following. I believe that every single analyst or people working with data has their own favorite graphic that we try to use in every single type of analysis we do, because we have our preferences. So I would like to know which is yours.
If I would have to pick one that is more commonly used by me, at least, is like the combo chart, I think. So that
makes sense.
It is something that allows you to have, like, again, columns to see how things are actually evolving through usually monthly overview or something like that, how things are evolving, and then you can actually have, for example, a line chart that provides a trend, or even a combination of two different fields. So it's something that I use frequently just to see not a correlation, but how technically how things are more or less connected with each other.
And evolving throughout time, I use that one a lot as well. So now to finish, and it may be a polemic one because I know you work with both and with people that work with both. I want to know, between digital data and backend/CRM data, which one for you is the most challenging to use?
Both have their own challenges in the end, and it's very different kind of skills, to tell the truth. So when working with digital data, you have to actually understand on how the website is, like, also this website or application is actually set up. You need to have an understanding of customer journey and exactly what are the key points of the journey of that customer through our environment in the end. And you need to, of course, work with different tools and so on as well. When working with CRM, you're working usually with more information on the customer, what kind of products they purchased, how much they actually spent, what they're using. you are working usually in very different ways on both sides. I like both, really. I like both, and to tell the truth, I would like to combine both always.
Yeah, that's a perfect scenario.
That's always the perfect scenario to combine both, and that's the thing of like the digital part. It depends on how you can take it, because you can work with the website to try and improve the UX design and so on with other colleagues to try and improve the whole journey. Of course, to the part that the customer eventually buys in the website something, or in the part of the CRM, you can also work more CRM, backend information, so on. You can work on exactly getting the complete data of the customer, connect all the points, be able to target the customer maybe for some marketing campaigns or something like that to try and push out some more sales. So, and combining, of course, all of this.
Okay. So, guys, colleagues, apparently David doesn't have a preference, so he likes us both. All good. Thank you, David, for being our first participant on this round. You handled it pretty good. Thank you so much. And you didn't call me crazy for my questions, so kudos for me. And let's get back then for our normal questions. And my next question for you, it's actually, how would you describe the importance of data to drive business success in a way that even those that do not have any experience with working with data could understand this?
So I would say that data is always important for driving business success, because in the end, you can only understand how successful you are if you actually are able to measure something in the end.
Yes.
So this is always why I recommend, if you want to know what you need to do next, you need to understand what your product in the end is delivering. So you need to have KPIs defined so you can measure those exactly. And these KPIs also need to be in the end actionable. So you need to see how your product is evolving, having some like reports, having someone to work with from analytics and be able to be open-minded to consult them and so on. So that in the end, you need to be open to receive this information and check on how you can change your product, change your project in order to use that data to reach the KPIs of the company. So that's how I would use it.
And throughout your career, do you feel that stakeholders, colleagues are more prone to data, so they have already some experience that this is really needed, or it's still something that it still needs to be worked on because it's still not there?
It always needs to be worked on. It depends from environment to environment, but I mean, I've been working for more than 10 years in the field. If you look more in the beginning, there were people that were wanting more into analytics, but they also had like some doubts about it, like what it could provide, because it was also a lot of, I have a feeling that this is the way it should be because it looks good, or it's from experience, that's always how it worked. And nowadays, a lot more people are more acceptable of exactly what data provides, and they actually see the proof that actually it works quite well. And also, to tell the truth, if we look into nowadays, there is a lot more colleagues that I've been working with and several other places as well, friends and so on, that like to look into the data and check exactly what it says. Now it just depends on how tech savvy they are, on how deeply they go into the data. That's why I say there's always room for improvement here and there. But there's always a place where we can start and then start to advance.
Oh, good. And do you feel there are still existent challenges to encourage more and more to use the data, or you feel we are going on the correct pattern?
I think we are going on. So we are definitely going on the correct pattern, if I would say so. There's challenges always, as there will be issues with data quality, data structures and so on in different organizations, and you need to find a way to how we can improve this, leverage this, so we can actually take better insights out of it. There's AI, something that is technically is already available for people to use, and it's something that people can actually use a bit more on their daily life to, in the future, I would say even, to be able to take those insights maybe from data that's already available in their data sources, assuming, again, good structure of the data, good data quality. But yes, clearly going in a good direction. Now I think it's just, again, the situation that I said before, people might need just enablement to get to that point, to know how to use it and interpret the data, because if you don't have like the knowledge of what the data means, you might take wrong conclusions. It can be dangerous as well.
Oh, good. Now that you actually talk about AI, for our next question, we are going to structure it in a slightly different way. So like it happened in the previous season, we actually invited an additional guest to provide some extra insights on this topic. And for today's episode, we invited our global CEO, Sylvia Beshman, to share with us some insights on the following question, actually picking up the AI topic. And the question I did was, we know that AI has been around for years, but it still remains a mystery to many. And yet, the business is demanding that we incorporate this in our daily operations. So how do we see the data industry evolving with increasing focus on the use of AI, aka the new buzzword of the decade? Let's hear Sylvia.
Artificial intelligence is indeed transforming the data industry. It's transforming our lives, I would say. AI is unlocking this bigger potential of data. If you see how many sophisticated analyses that we are able to conduct, predictive modeling and the automation of very, very, very complex tasks. And as much as AI technology advances, more we can utilize its potential in the business. We have very deeper insights that enhance our decision-making processes, and this will drive a lot of innovation. And this is a shift, a huge shift, and this shift will lead to increased efficiency, personalization, and this will create a lot of new business models as well. And it brings challenge with itself. So that's very important now to focus on upskilling our people, upskilling ourselves, always continuous learning, and also, especially as leaders here, to address the very important ethical considerations that are there now on the table.
Thank you so much, Sylvia, for your participation on this discussion and commenting a bit on what Sylvia said. Indeed, artificial intelligence allowed us to now have this kind of side buddy to help us on our daily tasks and to speed up some repetitive tasks and focus in the most complex challenges. So now, picking up more the perspective of data, do you agree with this perspective that AI is our future as data professionals and that we should upskill our knowledge in deep learning and algorithm skills?
I definitely agree that AI would have a very important role in the future. I don't think it's the only thing that it needs to be there, because for you to use AI specifically in data, you have to have some knowledge in either like programming languages or tools that you're technically using, and also some kind of technical or theoretical knowledge in the kind of field that you're working, usually statistics or something like that. Because as you use AI, you'll get maybe some feedback on, for example, I was mentioning before, as you have structured data and so on, you ask the AI to probably provide you like some reporting, some results or something like that, and it can probably provide you that. But if you cannot interpret it correctly, or if you don't know exactly how to work exactly with that data, you can be taking like some incorrect conclusions or conclusions that can be a bit false. And that's why that analysts in general are also important to be there, because they also have the business knowledge. They also would work with the AI to automate their work and make the work faster, and I think it can actually be very strong over there, but they would always be the ones that can actually
connect the dots.
Connect the dots in the end with it. AI definitely is going in that direction for sure, but as it goes over there, it needs to be something that will take a bit of time, but definitely the correct direction.
Yeah, I agree with you on that perspective. Like, I don't think our role as data analysts will technically die with this AI, but I agree that they should complement. There should be professionals focused on this, like data scientists and AI engineers, and we should have the other side more focused on the business. To connect.
To tell the truth, AI can only provide like the information that also is given to it. So you need to provide exactly that business knowledge of what are the KPIs, what do they mean, and so on. So exactly in the end the AI understands it and then can provide exactly the results back. It needs a bit of validation here and there. Things will grow, and of course it will get to the point, hopefully, that I'm someone that is not that much into data, and I ask, can you provide me a report of how the sales evolved through these months in whatever, and it can actually provide something like that very quickly to anyone within an organization.
Yes.
But there needs to be someone that exactly structures that and prepares that for the AI to read it and be able to interpret that this is what it means. When someone asks me, this is what I need to provide.
Yeah, and those same professionals need to know how to read it. And that's the part of the data professional, the data analyst, to be able to, okay, I look at the results, I can understand what is this, I pass the information.
Agree, yes, but I would say that still managers, product
yes.
They can become also more data driven to be able to do parts of it to a certain degree, but agreed, yes.
All good. And actually, talking about the part of the skills, I have a final question for you. That is, which skills, picking a bit to the AI, but not just AI, and qualities do we believe will be essential for the future of a successful data professional in the upcoming years?
There are some skills that are always there, in my opinion. So you need to be someone that is very into the business and very curious about the business to actually go there, learn how the business works, because if you don't understand the business, in the end, you also are doing things because people ask you.
Yes.
And it's okay, you're providing skills, but you're not providing other kinds of knowledge. So being a very curious mind, proactive mind in the end as well, to like try to reach out and understand how the business actually works, so you can actually put that knowledge into the analysis and the work that you're doing. I usually also like to do something like this, and I recommend to others to do it, is usually understand your neighbor's work. So I'm an analyst and I work usually with data engineers or BI analysts, and it's important for me to understand how do they do their work so I can actually work better with them. So this is some of the things that are important. In terms of technologies and so on, like that can change a bit for time.
Yes.
I would say that SQL and Python are always the important ones currently in the current world. There's others as well, but these are the ones that I usually see the most, to tell the truth. And of course, be someone that also looks a lot into the market itself, as the market evolves a lot in terms of technologies and what is available. AI is a new thing, a quite recent thing, so read into it, what is available, what you can actually do with it, and see how you can actually improve your work as an analyst, because an analyst like from 10 years ago is not the same thing as nowadays.
Yes.
It starts to borderline sometimes going to the topics of a lot more statistics, a lot more machine learning and so on. I can totally imagine that maybe in a few years, like what is an analyst is like the data scientist of a few years ago.
Yeah, most likely it will get to this evolution one day. And actually, to what you mentioned, I would just add one thing, that it's the storytelling. And actually, this was one of the things you taught me when I joined the company. Knowing how to tell the story and adapt it to your audience is essential.
Definitely. That's the part also of consulting. I
Yeah.
didn't mention, but a good point that you actually mentioned over there. The consulting part is understanding exactly our stakeholders, what do they need and so on. And then, of course, it's not just, here's the data.
Do something.
No, do something with it. Exactly.
Yeah.
No, you provide the data, but you need to structure it in a way that tells the story, so they actually know why we researched this, where did we go, and what do we need to do after, and what is the impact probably of that as well.
Yeah. All good. Thank you so much, David, for this conversation. I hope it was enlightening for you, at least it was for me. And thank you so much for watching the episodes. See you on the next ones. Bye.
Thanks a lot. See you.